So it's February 2025 and it's Black History Month, and I thought I would share with you the books that I'm reading because they just happen to be, I didn't plan it this way, they just happen to be written by an African American woman writer, Octavia E. Butler. She wrote these two wonderful books, A Parable of the Sower and Parable of the Talents. It's very interesting because this book was written in 1993 is when it was copywritten. It starts in 2025. So this was a future science fiction dystopian type of story taking place in 2025. But Parable of the Sower talks about a dystopian future where companies and corporations completely own everything. They own the people, and the American people are just completely thrown into destitute. People are on drugs and they're raping and killing. Probably not the happiest thing to read right now, but definitely timely. And I do think it's an interesting glimpse into what a possible dystopian future could look like if we don't get our shit together. But the Parable of the Sower is about really you reap what you sow. And I think that that's so important right now, that the seeds that we plant today will eventually grow. So we have to be very thoughtful about the things that we plant. The things that we plant in our mind, the things that we plant in our heart, the things that we plant in our communities. I think words are like seeds. When we say things that are negative, when we say things that are ugly, when we insinuate or incite or provoke angry, negative attacks, it creates and builds more of that. Like you reap what you sow. I've realized this over the years to plant seeds of love and kindness, and that doesn't mean that you don't get angry and you don't get frustrated and then you say things, or it doesn't mean that you don't make mistakes. But when you make mistakes, it's so important to apologize, to recognize why you made those mistakes and learn from them and grow. And that's what mistakes are for, to grow. For me, Octavia E. Butler and writing these science fiction books in the 1990s, when not only even today, you don't see a lot of women science fiction writers, let alone African American science fiction writers. It just reminds me that we all have a path. Why did this little girl in her mind want to grow up and write science fiction books, right? I mean, and then she did it. Even though nobody else was doing it, she did it. She thought, I can do this, and she did. And that's what's so great about this country. And that's where I think we all have to really try to understand that right now, still to this day, we have an opportunity to be anything that we want to be in this world. And reading an author like this and learning about her just reminds me that with a little hard work and perseverance, we can do and be anything. And I think that that is something that we should really hold on to. The only way we can really hold on to it is by not trying to take those dreams away from other people, because we reap what we sow. And if we try to take dreams and people's freedoms from them, then inevitably we take it from ourselves. So that is, for Black History Month, the book that I'm reading. The last one I'll leave you with is, this is very important, is The Color of Law, The Forgotten History of How the Government Segregated America. If you are, like me, an insurance agent, if you're a realtor, if you're a mortgage person, anybody in banking, you know that you learned about redlining. And that's just one example of how the government did its best to segregate and keep African American people from rising and creating generational wealth. I think now more than ever, it's really important to understand the history of our country. It is Black history, but it's also American history. It's important that we all know it. More important than anything else, it's important that white people understand our history, what we as a country have done, so we don't repeat. We don't want to repeat. So these are all the things that I'm thinking about today, and thank you for sitting with me and listening to me, and let me know what you think of the book. I hope you go and get it. It's a great read. Happy Black History Month. Bye.